Good evening to you and to all of the Greek people who are suffering for more than 6 years under the failed attempts to try to put the interest of the people in front of the interest of the banking system. I'm sorry that we are talking now in the shadows of the problems caused by the banking oligarchy in Greece like anywhere else in Europe. I think that it's obvious that the left of Serbia is the new party, and we just started our political battle. We have the fastest growing support rate in Serbia by the latest polls, and we have really thousands of young people who are supporting us and joining our ranks every day. Comparisons to Syriza of Greece are many, and first of all, we are trying to establish a system in which austerity measures are the things of the past, because it is obvious that those measures are things that are really damaging and really bad for our nations and for our citizens. And of course, we are fighting against corrupt banking system and corrupt politicians, and we are fighting against privatization of everything. And of course, there are differences between us and Syriza, because in Serbia we still have our currency, luckily, if I may to say. So we will not be pushed so harshly into a situation in which Mr. Tsipras was put, that he was actually put in front of the two choices, like to try to do austerity measures and to try to fulfill reforms through it, and like through stages, or simply to abandon everything and go back to drachma, which was absolutely impossible at that moment. So I would say that it was a pressure. It was almost like a political, financial blackmail, and it was trying to pull the Greece out of the verge of disaster. And I think that his job was really, really difficult and tough, and that's why we always gave support to Syriza and to Mr. Tsipras, although we know that many things that are happening right now in Greece are the consequence of the pressure and the blackmail from the foreign creditors and Eurogroup, not so much from the unfulfilled promises of Syriza before the referendum. Of course, the left of Serbia is trying to do many things that can be compared to Syriza, but not all of them, because our problems are still different, although there are some things that are quite similar. Well, it is true, and the whole thing started because I was probably the first Serbian politician that has put back the ideology and ideas back to Serbian politics. For many years we were living in Huntington world of Serbian politics, in which ideas and left and right were simply eradicated terms. So the new spring of new European left has come to Serbia as well. So I think that to many aspects, because we here in Serbia are still watching Syriza and Mr. Tsipras as people who are trying to, to guide the Greek ship through many hardship and through many, many problems under huge pressure of the debt, of the creditors, of the Western governments, especially of Berlin. So we are trying to be on one side of the equal front of solidarity, equality, social justice and social state with Syriza, with Podemos, and I like to call them the newest Labour Party of UK. So despite all the differences that exist between us and Syriza, we still believe that right now for Greek people, if we are allowed to make this comment, we believe that it still represents the strong ideological power that will finally enable Greek people to see its future beyond the banking system, beyond austerity, beyond privatization, and all of the hardships that still proud Greek people are suffering as we speak. Not so many different problems compared to problems that we still have in Serbia. But of course, in Serbia, some of these things are probably 10 times worse the things that we are seeing in Greece, because our government is neoliberal government that fully is doing everything they can to push people to austerity, trying to privatize everything, and they know that Mr. Tsipras and Syriza are still really popular in Serbia, and popularity is more than 20% right now by the latest polls I saw, and it shows that people like anti-system measures and parties who are trying to change the game, changing the rules, who are really burdening our people, the rules that we all are suffering under and that we all pretty much learned 15 years ago, and we still believe that you can play the same game by the rules from 2001, 2003. It's not possible. We believe that Europe is changing rapidly and that Greece was a huge historic democratic opening for the new social fortress of New Europe. Well, the left of Serbia right now has a parliamentary group of 5, which is irrelevant because we will have parliamentary elections in 2 months. In order for the left of Serbia to enter the parliament, we need to pass the threshold of 5%. Right now, by the latest polls, we are really close to that. Our aim is not simply to pass the threshold. We want to be a big surprise of these elections because here in Serbia, people are fed up with old parties, with traditional systems, with austerity measures, with privatization, with the huge poverty and inequality that we have in our country. Also, we have Mr. Vujacić as a prime minister who is oppressing all the opponents. He is, stepping over the free media and the freedom of speech. So, in some aspects, you can see that Serbia is becoming a society of a huge majority of one man. So you have some sort of a copy-paste to Mr. Orban or to Mr. Putin or to Mr. Erdogan. So we don't like it, of course, and we will fight it, but we are fighting it with new policy, with new program, which is the program of the new European left. And I have to say with great pleasure that we are the strongest, the fastest growing opposition party in Serbia right now, because all of the opposition parties in Serbia right now are around 5 to 6%, and Mr. Vujacić and his Serbian Progressive Party is around 40%. So it shows that we have, in the same time, along with the economic social crisis, we have a political crisis of the complete lack of confidence to so-called traditional, middle-of-the-road, mainstream parties that mainly come from the center. Social Democrats or the center-right or center-left, pretty much they're all the same, and they don't have the answer for the crisis in our economy and social welfare. Well, we are trying to collect funding through, of course, under the Serbian law, following all the regulations, and we are trying to do it almost like in 2 months' time. It sounds almost impossible, I have to say, because we decided to form the left of Serbia at the beginning of the electoral process. This is not unique in Europe. We had such examples in Slovenia, for example, or in Croatia. So we are, of course, trying to express the new policy, the new program of the new European left to Serbian people, and I'm really happy to say that gatherings and rallies and demonstrations, I don't know how you call it, in Serbia that we are holding these days almost daily are packed with people. So people are coming in huge numbers to our gatherings. They are supporting us. Although we don't have support of the mainstream media, we still find and manage to appear in controlled media every day, at least for once. And I think it's quite a success. The funds are really scarce, and we simply don't have enough money, but we are trying to collect from small businesses, from individual contributions, and so far I can tell you that we made a miracle. In only 50 days of our party, the left of Serbia, we managed to open 73 local branches of the party, which is 2/3 of the Serbian municipalities, and we also managed to get thousands of people who are flocking and joining the left of Serbia every day. We have started the headquarters of the left of Serbia. We have started the website, the Facebook, the Twitter, and contributions online, and membership online, and all of these things that are necessary. We even managed to make a lot of propaganda materials, to make a video of the left of Serbia, which is a short video that we will use, and we are continuing with this online campaign. We think it's quite useful, especially toward the young voters. And people here in Serbia are eager to get social justice. They are eager to get equality. We are living in a desperate world, just like in Greece, in which some people are extremely rich, like around, I don't know, 5%, and they're controlling 98% of the wealth of our country. And most of the 95% of the people are mainly people that are pushed to precariat, they're pushed to the lower level. The declassification of our nation is going. So if you're born in certain class, you're not in that class anymore. People are underpaid, unemployed, economy is in a terrible shape, and we are fighting to get the funding, because without the funding we will not be that successful. Of course, it's really difficult. The big business is supporting Vučić, Mr. Prime Minister of Serbia, and they are supporting so-called reforms, because these so-called reforms are allowing a workforce to be underpaid and cheap for them, so that's why they're happy with this current government. Of course, we hope that these things will be changed in the elections, because we believe and we can feel it on every street corner of Serbia that the left of Serbia is growing, the people are coming and supporting us, so we will certainly be a big surprise of the following elections. Well, we believe that the Athens of today, despite the fact that it's in a really big problem still, and that it's struggling to go back to the stream, to go back to the policy of original Syriza. That's how we see it from the Balkans, from the Western Balkans. It's a great hope, and it was a great hope, and we simply want to pay our respect and our contribution to the joint efforts of the Western Balkans to build societies of stability, of social welfare and equality. Since we come from the same family of the left, we have an excellent communication with Podemos of Spain, with the left party of France, with the Labour Party of UK, with Linke of Germany, but of course the roadshow, we believe, should start from Athens, because Mr. Tsipras and Syriza, despite all the difficulties, still represent the powerful beacon light and powerful hope for all of the left parties, if nothing else, through the experience of their hardship and problems that they are trying to resolve, in which all of us should be contributing and helping in the joint venture of European solidarity. New Europe of solidarity, the new left Europe that we are trying to build, it will be quite different of the xenophobic, isolationist Europe that we are seeing in days that we are witnessing. And simply because of that, we believe that despite all the problems, Syriza and Mr. Tsipras should be our first station. It would be a great honor for us, and we can exchange experience, and we can find a way to face the problems as they come to us, and we can find a way using Greek experience to avoid the problems, to avoid mistakes from the past, and simply to keep the will of the people on one side and to fight austerity measures, to fight privatization, to fight the banks, and to create the new Europe in which people will feel like the center of every policy of the left of Serbia, not the market. The market is just a tool for the people, not other way around. So we are looking forward, and we hope that it will be possible to have a meeting in Athens. We would be honored if that's possible, because your friends, your supporters, your comrades here in Serbia, and the friends of the Greek people would like to have a chance to exchange experience, to talk about problems, to resolve these problems, and to continue the strongest bridge in the Western Balkans that exists, and that is the bridge between Serbia and Greece. We're looking forward to that, and we hope that there will be a good chance for such an event soon, especially because the left of Serbia is continuing to bear the torch of changes and hope for the Western Balkans, for all of our people that are feeling oppressed and under the huge pressure of unhumane austerity that our political elites are trying to put on us.